Welcome to the Golden Square Podcast with your hosts, Linda Scott and Sharilyn Fisher. Are you ready? Because we're starting right now, only on Stunner Radio, the heart and soul of the culture.
Hey, it's Thursday, almost close to the weekend, but it's a very good day for us. Hey, Miss Sharilyn.
Hey,
How was your day?
Oh, I had a wonderful day today.
Oh, my day was long.
Long.
Hey,
Thank
Mr.
you, Gavin.
Gavin, thank you so much. So listen. Oh, well, let's do this before we get started. Yeah, very, very important. So, our producer, Miss Lisa, Lady Diva, a Queen Diva, Queen Danae, Lisa Danae, all of those names that's under her umbrella. We first want to send out all the loves and prayers and our condolences, and deepest, because we all, Cheryl and I both have been in your shoes before, or we walking in your shoes. And her shoes is she lost her mother. And we want to send all the prayers, all the everything that we can give you, all our love. So we're giving you a big hug. Yeah, so you know how to reach us if you need us. But we just wanted everybody else to keep her in your prayers as she go through this storm. And we know God has her. So that's the most important thing right there. So with all that being said, are you ready for the show?
Our amazing show and our amazing guest
tonight. Yes. And it's not Linda, it's Brenda. It's not Linda, it's Brenda. So we're going to have Dr. Brenda Simmons on. And if any of you know, well, okay, so we don't want to go through that. Y'all know who she is, and if you don't, we're going to introduce her. So with the producer will bring in Brenda, let's do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Doc, how you doing?
How are you?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Great.
How about you, ladies?
Good. Girl, listen.
We're so excited to have you tonight.
Absolutely. For anybody who don't know your story, don't know who you are at this moment and this time, just introduce yourself, give them a little taste, and then throughout the show, we'll go further.
I am Dr. Brenda Simmons. I work with children of domestic violence. I work with women who are willing to get away from their abusers. And we take women and we counsel them and the children. We mostly work with parents of domestic violence. We believe that helping the children will help the parents flee their abusers. We do counseling. We help with placement of homes. We help with furniture, clothing, food. We do forensic counseling. We are an organization that is based out of Houston. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are working to build a home for women and children to flee to, and men, because men are also victims of domestic violence. Yes. We help anyone who is willing to help themselves and their children. We are also a nonprofit that helps seniors who are sick and shut in. So we are pretty much a umbrella of help. We are we partner with several different organizations that are in need of assistance. So if, say for instance, there's an organization that is the colon cancer. We partner together, we put on music shows, and that's how we raise money to help the nonprofits raise money for themselves to sustain themselves by music.
That's awesome. Awesome, girl. You have so many hats under that umbrella. I guess it's but for every hat that you have, it's well, Brenda, needed. It's needed.
Thank you.
And anytime, go ahead.
So Brenda, I was reading your bio. So how did you go from managing artists and having your own label, record label, to working with children of domestic violence? How did that transition happen?
Well, I've always worked with children of domestic violence. It's just that music has always been my passion. I started At the age of 15, my sister was murdered,
Yes.
pretty much in front of me. And
Mm.
it's been a passion of mine to help children because children are the ones who suffer the most.
Mm.
Music has always been in my family. I've always started in the gospel industry. And
Mm.
my mother and my aunts always, they didn't drag me to church, but they took me to church. And
Mm.
that's how we ended up in the music industry. I belonged to the Northside Rappers, which my brother founded. And, music has always been in my life. So I decided to take the two. But besides, I was always a sports person. So I decided to take the two, music and healing, and put them together. And I heard the old saying that music soothes the savage beast. And I
Yeah.
found that to be true because
Yes.
music does heal the heart. When you're sad, music helps
Mhm.
makes you happy.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when you're unhappy, music
Yeah.
will make you cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of things that music does to help heal people. So that's why I decided to implement the both of them and put them
Mm.
together.
Well, let's start when you entered into the world as the youngest of 14,
Whoa.
the
18.
young the youngest, and so your outing was track. You were a track star.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
read that and I was like, okay, this girl can run. Y'all better try to run from her. Y'all don't know she can run you down. She'll run you down. So I thought that was very interesting because once I see an athlete, I'm like, oh, okay, I got a sister. So congratulations on that. And I know you work with Carl Lewis and your
Yes.
training and all that and your gold medal. I was
Gold
like,
medal, that was
this
awesome.
girl is
It was
amazing, amazing.
amazing.
But then the
Thank
part
you.
that then turned around and saw you doing all these things, and to see that you lost your sister in your presence by a boyfriend, girl,
Yes.
now that broke my heart.
Yes, it
And
did.
then to know that you loved enough to say, I'm going to do something about this, and you
Yeah.
promised your mother. I thought that was everything, Brenda. So I'm all for anybody trying to save anybody's
Yeah,
lives.
and using your platform to help others, I think that's very impressive. I was looking at Jennifer Hudson today and how she said that she tries to use her platform because her sister was killed in the same way. It just
Right,
wasn't in front of her. Her sister, her mom, and her nephew. And
right.
she had Tamala Harris on the show today, and she ate her up. But that's
Hmm.
another.
Hmm.
So she's trying to use her platform and her things she do to help others that
Right.
don't have the revenue and the sources that she has.
Sources.
I think that is great. I think that is really
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Yes. It's
So,
something I've always wanted to do
yeah.
to save the world.
Okay. So now it's that's a lot of work saving the whole
Well,
world.
one
But
family
then
at a
God,
time.
yeah, but you know what? God gives you the energy because those times when you want to
Yes.
say no, and once you say
Hmm.
no, he's like, oh, so you don't want to do what I want you to do. So he know how to pull you right on back in. So I'm glad that
That's
you
right.
do want to save the world. We need somebody because we are in bad shape right now. So
Right.
what does your organization do?
We help women of all nationalities, no matter whether you're documented or not. If the shelters are full, we raise
Mhm.
money and put you in a hotel with your children to make sure you're safe. We are currently getting ready to put on a musical event May 13th, Mother's Day
Mhm.
weekend, a pre Mother's Day weekend event to raise
Mhm.
money to try and build a home or refurbish a home so we can place women in our
Mhm.
home until shelter space is open.
It's open.
But
Yes.
that's what we do. We help women who are fleeing domestic violence with their children, or help juvenile who are fleeing to get into a safe place. Because we believe, and I know that a lot of people say, don't believe the children, but I believe the mouth of babes because
Babes.
Yes.
Yeah.
children will tell the truth eventually.
Right.
My thing is, women will go back to these abusers, and the pillow talk kills me. They'll go back to
Mhm.
their abusers and let them sweet talk them, but the children are the one left by the wayside. No
Right.
one's sweet talking them. No one's telling them it's going to be okay. So I want to be the one to let the kids know they have someone, whether it be by sports, boxing, just having a safe place to go to get their
Right.
homework done. My
So
mission is to build a recreational center and have it so the children can have a place to go to
So
and
how do
help
you
with
get around?
homework and whatever they need.
So how do you get around the legal ramifications when, say a teenager comes to you and says, I'm being abused by my dad or whatever, and then how do you get them into a home or whatever when when their parents
don't.
are resisting you or
Or saying that the kids not doing that's
yeah,
not true. That's not true.
yeah, when the parents are saying that's not true. So
Right.
how do you get around the
That's
ramifications so you can help the child?
that's when we come in with forensic counseling, and we also call Children Protective Services, the police department.
Okay,
That's
so
that's one of
okay, go ahead because I'm trying to be clear about how it's done. So if I'm the child,
mhm.
yeah, I hear it. Okay. Okay, so if I'm the child and do I come to you or do I go to school counseling? Where is the
They
connection at?
can. We work with the schools as well. So they could go to their school counselor. And if they're too afraid to go to the school counselor,
Uh-huh.
and because a lot of times they've been to the school counselor and nobody's believing them. So if they
Mhm.
call me and they say, Miss Brenda or Miss Sugar, I have a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their home. I've done
Mhm.
that. I've went to their home and I became friends with the family, and I watch and I see how the reaction is with the family. And if there's something different that's something that is not normal, then we will petition the courts to take the children out of the home. That has been done.
Okay, so now I'm believing in you and I'm just,
Hmm.
going with
Yeah, ask
the
as many questions as you have.
the I'm asking for it for the world. So
Hmm.
listen, how how do my child know to reach out to you, Miss Brenda or Dr. Brenda? Let me say that, give you your props because you earn it. How do the kids know how to or when to come to you?
Well, I don't know unless they are on Facebook, Instagram, which a lot of them are Instagram because they feel like Facebook is for old people. So I'm on Instagram constantly, Twitter,
Uh,
and those type of things. And I also go to a lot of the schools and adopt a lot of I go to the counselors and I ask the
uh-huh.
counselors, what troubled families do you have? What troubled children do you have? And
Right,
those
uh-huh.
children are the ones that I target. And I get permission from either the foster parent or the guardian. And we counsel the children. We spend time with the kids. We adopt them for Christmas. We have other
Mhm.
organizations that are working in the schools. So we partner with different organizations that are working in the schools, and that's how we target our children.
Dr. Brenda,
Mm.
I'll have to keep your information because that's one of my things that I like to do is adopt a child for Christmas. So I will definitely be contacting you closer to Christmas so I can adopt one of your children.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so I'm still trying to get the stuff out so that the information, not stuff, the information out to the people who may be going through this kind of abuse with the kids or the kids going. I don't know who's listening, but for whoever it is, I need for them to know that they're okay to go to Instagram because Facebook is for the old people. But every now and then you come on in, the old people got some stuff going on. But I'm just trying to direct them to you on how do I reach Miss Brenda. I am sitting here right now, and I'm going through a lot of mental things. Mental abuse, as we know, is probably
Wow.
sometimes worse than
Yeah,
physical.
physical.
But I'm going through some mental abuse right now. and I need to pick up the phone and call Miss Brenda, or I'm in school and I need to go to the counselor and tell the counselor so that she can reach out to Miss Brenda. Am I correct?
832-656-8661, or they can text me. I'm always available. I'm always answering the phone. And if they want it to stay private and they just want to talk, I do crisis counseling for suicidal behavior. I even have a contract with Bental MCOT where we can go out to them and they do prescriptions on site. I mean, there's always a way for us to reach them. Even if I have to go to their family and say, okay, you're on my list to give out food, because I give out food on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So if I have to reach the family by giving out food, and that's what I've always done, is if you give out something free, their parents will come. And that's how I'm able to speak with the children and ask them, what are your needs? What do you need, to feel normal? What do you need to feel better? And the parents will allow them to speak with me and talk with me, because I've heard this all the whole time I've been working. What goes on in this house stays in this house. And that's not a healthy thing.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
Boy, I have so many questions, but
I just had this conversation with one of my parents. They're not together, and he tells his son, "Don't tell mom what goes in my house." And when I heard him telling that, I told him, I said, that's not the right thing to tell him, because what if something's going on in mom's house and mom tells him not to tell you? Then you can't be there for your son, or she can't be there for her son. Right. So you should not tell them. You should never tell tell a child to keep a secret from their parents, whether it's the mom or the dad. They should never be told to keep a secret from their mom and their dad, because they always need to be upfront with them, because that's the only way the parent can help them.
So let me ask you another question. How did you come up with the name Sugar Baby?
Well,
Sugar Baby.
I came up with that name because I was always the baby.
Okay. We can't wait. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, because I want to know. We couldn't hear you.
Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I've always been the baby of the family. And I've always loved sweets. And yeah. And it's kind of like a catchy name, but it had another it was branded as another name, but when I was little, I had a dog, and I loved that dog so much that she was my sugar baby. And I just hugged her and treated her like she was just something so precious. And I would fight over that little puppy. So my dad used to call me his sugar baby. And I said, that was my nickname, and I said, something, if I'm going to use that name or let people call me that name, I'm going to make it for good.
Right.
I'm going to rebrand that whole name and make it for something good and wholesome, and something that people can look up to. Well, because I have a strong constitution. So if we're going to use that name, we're going to use it for something positive.
Something positive, yes.
I think that's a name that a child will remember.
Right.
Sugar Baby, then the Institute of so and so and so and so, and all those big, that's something the child can remember. Sugar Babies.
Do you have a count, or do you have numbers over how many people that you have helped in the previous times that you've been doing this?
Oh my God! In the previous time?
Yeah, because I know you
over 30 years.
Yeah, listen, y'all. When I saw 220, I was like, that's a lot, Brenda. That's a lot. That means you eat and sleep, sugar baby, honey. And knowing over the time period, I don't know why I said time period, but just knowing that if you did 220 families And girl, when do you sleep?
Sleep when the phone is not ringing.
Oh,
Well, I'm quite sure you have a team.
okay, yes. So,
What was the question? I'm sorry.
I'm quite sure you have a team.
right.
Or are you
I
doing this
do,
by yourself?
but my team tells me that they can't handle the calls.
Mm,
The calls are too heart-wrenching for them.
wow.
Yeah.
By
So
you saying,
I am the professional, so I handle the calls.
So what does your team do?
The rest of the work, the fundraising, helping distribute
okay,
the food, the clothing distribution, um, pretty much everything else,
okay.
you know.
Everything else but
Every
the phone
but the
call.
phone
I
call.
got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Yes. They
yeah,
they they hard. They just can't. They can't
yeah,
handle it. And some people can handle it. And I'm glad to know, since I can't handle this, but I can handle
Right.
something else. So you do still have a strong team. And it takes a lot listening to I don't want to say other people's situations, other people, because everybody is totally different.
Yeah.
And then I commend you for um taking on the children and the seniors in domestic violence, because the seniors to me is the people where I'll say us. Where are we gonna go? How do we handle um how did we handle my daughter just, got killed, or my daughter's getting beat up? So how do you go about handling those situations, Dr. Brenda?
You really want to know?
I really do.
Okay. When the seniors are calling me and they need help,
Mhm.
I tend to calm them down first. I get their problems. I find out what's going on. And if the police can't make it to them and they ask me to, if they're dealing with domestic violence,
Uh-huh.
naturally I send APS, Adult Protective Services. I let
Okay.
the Adult Protective Services handle it first.
Hmm.
And if the person is not removed from their home and they're still dealing with the abuse, then
Hmm.
first of all, let me start by saying I work with the Houston Police Department Domestic Violence Outreach Team.
That's what I
So
was searching for.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So by us working together, we
Right.
have that's a part of a team that is ready to go at any time,
Okay.
at,
All right.
at all
I think
times.
that's what I was searching for, to see how do you get whatever you're receiving, the information. And by you working with the police department, that right there said, okay, this is
Right.
this is how this is gonna go right here. So okay, so now y'all here, don't don't fool with this woman. You can't outrun her, and she works for the police department. So there are some other things around her waist. So y'all be careful with you. Just help her out wherever you need it. But it's such a sad, sad situation, and I know of a couple of young ladies who going through some stuff and
Right.
trying to prepare them with that exit plan
Trying to
on,
navigate their
on
way
yeah,
through it.
trying to
Yeah.
get them out of the situation. What other help can you give us right now today on young ladies and men, or just in general us? How do we get out of this? What signs are we looking for to see this is either physical, other than him beating on us or she's beating on him, but help them to help themselves right now?
Thing to do to help a person help themselves
Mhm.
is mostly just talking to them and getting them away from their abuser. Because if they start to withdraw from the family, 10, 9, 8 out of 10, somebody's going to end up hurt, injured, or
Mhm.
dead.
Mm.
And
That's
that's
right.
Mm.
what we're trying to avoid: severely
Mm.
injured or dead.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that is what America has come to. It's
Right.
not the point of people ending up injured. It's people ending up dead, and the children are going along with it.
Right.
So
Right.
our main objective right now is to get the families to separate, because if they're not getting along, it's best that we find them a different place to live in,
Right,
because
right.
they're not healthy for each other. A toxic
Hmm.
relationship is only going to get have more toxicity in it. So we
Yes.
need to separate these people from each other because they're not good for each other. And that's the main thing.
Yeah, Julia says this is a great source and she will contact you because this can benefit some of her clients. And Betty Grant said this is a good resource.
I know of a young lady that her lover has pulled her away from her family. And God, I don't know how to go into this. But she separated her from her family basically. And every time they would talk to her, everything is good. How do you convince this young lady that everything is not good and it's okay if you tell?
Love, just showing her that the family is there for her more than that person. You have to show, I mean, every situation is different. I can't really pinpoint because I don't know exactly what is going on in that relationship. I would
Yeah.
have to speak with that person and find out exactly what is going on. Um, Being that she's withdrew her already from the family,
Uh-huh.
evidently she's, brainwashing her
Hmm.
in
And
some form.
yeah.
So the key points is for the family just to go over
Hmm.
and just, bum rush to be there. Come over, visit, no matter what. Just pop
Balance.
up at all times of
Yeah.
day.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing a user is going to do is try to convince the person that's being abused that they
Mm.
have no one.
Mm.
And it is the family's job to prove to the abuser that, hey, she has family, she has
Right.
brothers, she has cousins, she has a mother, she has an uncle. Start popping up.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, let them know
The-
she's not alone.
right. The only thing the only thing that I could see in that case of the family popping in and so forth and so on, that this girl has um been isolated, that nobody basically knows where she lives.
Right, right.
So it's the phone number is still the same, thank God. But to just say, okay, we're gonna go over. Where are we going to? They have moved her away from her being next door. How I guess when you're saying just showing love and just continuing to communicate with that person, um what are some of the key words that we give out to say, hey, we're here for you? How do we or they how do anybody successfully handle it?
So let me get this straight. So you don't know where she's at.
Right. Don't know where she
You know how
lives.
to get in contact with her, but you don't know
Right.
where she's at.
Where she
Right.
lives, right.
Just by phone.
By phone,
And
yes.
okay, and she won't give you the information of where she's at.
No, she won't tell them, what's the address, where she lives. She'll just say, we'll say on this, we'll say in Sugarland, you know, but how big is Sugarland? So where in Sugarland do you live?
Okay.
So yeah, it's that kind of situation. I live in
Well, does she
Sugarland.
want to be found?
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out for this situation. Because if you don't tell the person that I need help, how do we help them? But we know that you've been separated. We know that your language have changed. You know what I'm saying? When I say we, I'm just saying the people in the situation. So how do we get that person to confess that there is something going on?
But that's two scenarios to that. One of them being that she's scared. She's scared to tell you where she is. And the second one is, can't nobody get tired for her. She has to get tired herself. She has to say, I've had enough. I've had enough.
Well, the only thing I can think of is if you can have them to do a ping on her cell phone so you can know what area she's in.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying
And
to
then
get.
if that doesn't work, you have her name, have the police department do a welfare check.
Okay.
They can find her.
Yeah, I was going to mention the welfare check, but I was thinking, how can they do a welfare check if they don't know where she is?
Well, she has to, has mail going somewhere.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So that all sounds good. All right. All right.
Julie wants
She had to do a change of address.
Yeah, Julie wants to know, do you also help out men that are in domestic violence relationships as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go through the same process as a woman. It's a human being thing. It's not about a man or a woman. It's a human being not
It's a
doing
human
what.
being problem. Right.
Austin wants to know, Miss Scott, why can't you be the go-to? Your family, like you would do us, call her parents. Her parents are the one that can't find her.
Say that again. Say that again. Put Mr. Bryant thing up again.
Why can't you be the go-to? Your family, like you would do us, call her parents.
Okay. All right. You're right, sir. You're right. It's not that I can't go to the parent because I'm talking to the parent. So I'm already there, and it's the parent crying out, how do I save my child?
The parent is the one who can't find her child.
Right. So how do I find my child? How do I get my child back? That's what the parent. That's why I said I was glad that you do the senior.
But let's see, is this an adult child? Is this an adult young lady or?
Right. It's an adult. Yes. I didn't hear you, Brenda. I'm sorry. Toya, I can't hear Brenda. One more time, Brenda. I'm sorry.
Does she have an iPhone?
I don't know what I don't know what type of, do she have Android or iPhone, but I would ask that question. So if she has an iPhone, what does that mean?
They can track her.
Okay.
They can track her steps or wherever she's located.
But doctor, does she have to have that tracking portion on?
From my understanding, I'm sure every phone has a tracker on it when it comes to the iPhone, because when I was tracking my grandson, he didn't have his on, but I could see where he was. And he said, Granny, how did you track me when my locator wasn't on? I was like, well, Granny got ways, so.
Granny got
Granny, I am Granny. Say that again, Granny.
Granny got ways.
Right. Wow. Dang. Okay, so this is good. What we have to do, everyone, is have you to go ahead and get your questions and all that ready for Dr. Brenda, and we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
If you're looking for custom handcrafted fashion jewelry that makes a statement, look no further than Linda S. Jewelry, 1426. We specialize in quality pieces fit for any occasion. Follow us on Facebook at Linda S. Jewelry 1426 to view our inventory or to make a purchase. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Hey, welcome back. We have Dr. Brenda Simmons on with us tonight. She's talking about domestic violence and a whole lot of stuff under her umbrella. But tonight we're asking questions to save everybody, not just the man and not just the woman, but people in general. And we were just before before the break, we were asking her about the iPhone and how do they track the person that the parent can't find, because this is a situation that I'm aware of, is that the parent is trying to unbrainwash what someone else has brainwashed their child. So I'm seeking help for someone else, and I really don't know a whole lot, but I just know a little that this girl has been brainwashed and she's not the person who she used to be. So tracking her with the iPhone is one way that we can say, okay, where is everybody? Let's go do what we need to do. What are other ways, Brenda, that you would recommend for a parent? Oh, Toria, I can hear Brenda. Say it
Okay.
again. All right.
Put out a missing poster.
Oh,
Or
okay.
do they have to be missing like for so many days or whatever? Or if because
Well,
you
if
can
you can't find her, she's already missing. You can put out your own missing posters and
okay.
Right.
say, okay, my daughter's been missing. I can't find her. Can you help me find her? You have to intimidate the abuser so
Mm.
he'll let her go or they'll let her go.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
One
Okay.
thing you abuser they don't want to go back to jail or they don't want to go to jail and they definitely don't want to be a kidnapper.
Mm.
And one thing they will do is say,
Uh,
okay, let you call your parents and let them see you are okay.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It's
Okay.
called it's called a love intimidation. Trust me,
Mm-hmm.
I've had to do it. I have two daughters.
Wow.
So I've had to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Ah. Well, I
Hmm.
guess that's why God gave you that talent and not us, because um I would have never thought to, as the parent hasn't either, and I wouldn't have thought to recommend, let's put out a missing person so anybody see this person, um, hey, contact us, or whatever the information is. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
good. Yeah.
So okay, so I know you all have questions. Come on, bring them out, and so that Dr. Brenda could answer all your questions, because this is really good. I just need to know. Oh, I just.
So doctor, do you make when you're saying you're going to the schools and you're talking to the counselors, I know you have a relationship with them. So are they able to identify what they would call you and say, I mean, because it's hard to call CPS if you really don't know
Don't know
what's
the
going on, if the
story.
child hasn't said anything. So
Mhm.
could they would they call you out and tell I got my eye on this child. I think something is going on. I cannot prove it. Can you just come out and talk to her or him?
That come to school dirty, they'll contact me just to say, okay, do you have any extra clothing that would fit this child here or this young man? And that would open up a door for me to say, well, what about your mom? Does your mom need any clothing? That type of thing.
Mm.
And that'll give me a entryway into their home where I can see their living environment. And then I can help them make a better living environment for the family.
Mhm.
See, my job is not to break a family apart. It's to
Right.
make the family have a better living environment.
Right.
Longer,
Correct.
yes.
But
Right.
if the family is toxic and there's someone coming in sexually abusing, physically abusing, emotionally, or some type of abuse is going on in the home, then that's when Kung Fu Brenda steps in.
Sometimes the children, no matter how bad the situation is, they
With the
always think it
I'm
was
sorry,
offended.
worse.
can you repeat that?
Sometimes the children, no matter how bad the situation is, will think it's worse to be separated from their parents.
Right.
So they won't
Right?
tell. It's all kind of signs that you see, because I'm a mandatory reporter. It's kind of like signs
Mm-hmm.
that I see that I call and report, And then the kids will say, no, that's not going on, because they don't want to be separated from their parents.
mom.
They love their parents regardless of what they do,
Right.
or what's going on.
Wow.
So it makes it kind of hard to get the kid help if they're not being truthful with you, they're not being forthcoming of what's going on.
Right. And I agree, because
says, do you know the man? Asked if anyone has seen him. We don't know anything about him. I'm assuming.
Right.
We don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you, because working for CPS for so long, I do believe that keeping a family together, if we can work on the family dynamics together, mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever, grandma, if we can keep a family together and just do something to help the family stay normal, then we can do that. We can help them stay together instead of, tearing them apart, sending one family member here, sending another family member there. We can do something to make the family stay together. If it's bills that's making it worse, then we'll help with bills. If it's food you need, whatever it takes to keep the family normal and keep the children from being abused and sexually abused. And if there's sexual abuse going on in the family, we're removing the problem. But if there's a problem as far as something such as something materialized or something to that point, we'll do what we can to keep the family together. But if it's a person coming in and abusing physically, sexually, or emotionally, then emotionally, we can possibly have the church come in, because I'm not very good at helping men control their anger in a positive way. I would have to have the pastor come in on that one, because.
But I was a child advocate for Fort Bend, and for one whole week. And I would go, and my hat's off to you, Brenda. It takes a special person to do that. And children is my passion. That's my love. But I could not do that. Just sitting there, some of the stories that I heard, and there was nothing I could do about it. I want to bring all the children home with me. Y'all just come on. Y'all come on to Cuckoo's house. But, I could not do it. I just could not sit there and hear some of those stories that was coming out of these homes. And the thing that really, really got me is these kids had opened up and they were telling these terrifying stories, and the mother was defending the man who had abused their children. Yeah. My heart could not take that. I worked as a child advocate for 1 week, and I told him I couldn't do it anymore.
And it does take 1 week. It takes a strong person. It takes
I worked 1 week. I was sympathetic and I had empathy for the children or whatever. But when the mother got up there and was defending this man and her child sitting up there with two black eyes and a busted lip, they told me,
"Oh no,
over there and beat you can
right." So that's what
that's it. Out that woman, because that's where my heart was living. So I told him, I said, I can't do it. I'll be in jail.
Truly, and that's why I said it takes a special person.
So it takes a special person. My hat goes out to you, doctor.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
thank
can't.
you.
You can't.
I don't know.
Everybody can't handle it. Everybody can't. And I'm one of those who cannot be that particular person, because
so far as the children concerned, I could do that, but I couldn't do. I couldn't do the parents. I couldn't do the parents. She's defending that man to the very end. I couldn't. The bailiff kept saying, "Miss Fisher, you have to sit down. Miss Fisher, you have to get back on the other side of that podium. You can't cross the board. Miss Fisher, it's your second warning."
Yeah, it takes a special person, and I'm glad that to know that it's you. I'm glad that we have your contact, your information, that we can send stuff, send people over to reach you, because I'm with Sharilyn, and I still believe in fighting. I'm old, but I still fight. But anyway, so I believe in that, because that's my protection for the kids. Okay, I can't.
Deidre says I can't listen to the CPS fail me with my niece. I can't listen I can't listen because CPS failed her with her niece.
Never say never.
Yeah, but CPS, you have to realize that even just the because one of my parents works for CPS, and she's always late picking up her kid or whatever. She always called me. There's no problem with that. But she was telling me, Sharilyn, my workload is just overwhelming. Just overwhelming. And they says, why aren't you making these home visits like you should? When am I supposed to? Where's the time? Where there's only 24 hours in a day. I have to eat, I have to sleep, and I have my own family. So it's just we need more qualified CPS workers. We really do.
Well, that's it. I mean, okay, so not only with CPS, we need so many qualified people to do a whole lot of things now. You got all your police officers, your fire. We need all those people to be qualified because we're going down the drain slowly because we're not getting the love that we used to receive from our big mamas and grandpa and all them back in the day. I don't see anything wrong with other than the statement, whatever happens in our house. And I know everybody's house has made that statement, but that's the only thing that I would change if I could change anything is not to make that statement because we need to know, some things that are going forward. But other than that, we need to go back where it was. And I know we're not going to go backwards because that's not what the young people today want to do. Everything has changed. Of course it has changed, but I think I turned out okay. And y'all, I was not the best child in the world. I was a good girl, but I wasn't the best child in the world. But I think I turned out pretty good. And it was from the upbringing of the community, of the village that came together and said, okay, Miss, this is what you're going to do. And like you putting up all the different music and building different facilities for these kids, we need more people to be on your side to help you build things where these kids could go and live and release some of that stuff instead of wasting money trying to build a new jailhouse and all of that right there. So at this point, y'all, I say everybody on this live needs to reach out to Dr. Brenda and see how we can help. We need it so bad. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And she has a great team, as she's already stated, but she do need help in making these phone calls as well. So
we have Dr. Brenda's information on the screen. We're going to stop and take a quick break right quick, and then we'll be back with Dr. Brenda.
If you live in Houston and surrounding areas and are in need of quality childcare, contact Cuckoo's Treasures today. We provide professional childcare in a caring and nurturing environment. Do you work second or third shift or don't have a typical schedule? Cuckoo's Treasures can assist you. We're open 24 hours and some weekends. Give us a call today at 346-313-9064. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Welcome
back. So, Dr. Brenda, what would you like to see from this point right here? Hold on one second, Toya. We can't hear her. Okay, try it again. Why we can't hear?
Toya.
Okay, there we go.
How about
okay.
Now,
yes,
great. You can.
Okay. What I would like to see is a lot more support from my community, because the dream has been, and the goal and our mission is to build the rec center for the children. I believe that the rec center will include the computer lab, of course, to help kids after school program so the parents can work, and make their money. And then we can help them with home.
We're having difficulties hearing Brenda, But don't go away because Toya will
For
fix this.
24 to 48 hours. We would call that the Sugar Baby Shower and Shine Center. You know,
Wow.
because I've met a lot of women with their children who lived in their cars and just needed a place to sleep for the night. So that's what we are looking for. We need vendors for our events that would help pay for some things. You know, there's a variety of things that can be done, but I'm willing to take one step at a time. I'm not trying to
Right,
rush it.
right.
So,
So what can our audience do to help you? Immediately, what can we do to help you? I know
excuse me?
donations are always great.
Yes, donations are wonderful, but you know, times are hard and I understand, but we are in need of donations. So, I just want to be able to help these ladies who are fleeing at the moment because when the shelters are full, we pay for hotel rooms.
Okay.
So you don't have a
So
center now.
donations,
It's going to be in the future, correct?
ma'am.
You don't have a center now, but there's going to be a center in the future.
Yes, we're actually refurbishing a house that we're purchasing.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
So so Sherilyn was just asking, how could our viewers right now help you? And then you caught the end about the donations, but you were saying there were other things that you would like for them to do as well.
Well, they could donate at Cash App Brenda Simmons. Brenda Sims is Cash App BrendaSim. And we're going to be having a pre-Mother's Day event at the Spindletap Brewery, Spindletap Park, 10622 Hurst Road on May 13th. And we need vendors, all kinds of vendors. Um, Pretty much just pray for me that I keep my hair black and don't go gray because
Hey, nothing
I
wrong
love
with
on.
being gray, girl. Ain't nothing
I
wrong with
know,
being
I know, but
gray.
me and Beijing we're on first name basis. But I love the people that I talk to. I love the people that I talk to. I love the families that I serve, and I think it's my calling. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
keep at it. And well, I know it's my calling because I've been doing it for 30 years.
Oh, that's yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that I'm passionate about, and I don't think I'll ever leave it, you know. So the
I,
children are the future, and I want to help be the village to build the future.
I
Okay.
hope you don't ever leave it
I
because your
don't think so.
services are so
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 needed,
needed,
so needed,
so
so
needed.
needed.
I really
I
appreciate it.
won't.
I appreciate what you're doing.
Right.
Thank you so much.
So, is there any other way to help outside of donation for money? Do you need donations for clothing? Do you
We
need?
do accept donations for clothing. We desperately need books and bears for our outreach program for the Houston Police Department. Because when we go on calls, we need to be able to calm the children when they're in a desperate situation, when their families are going through something. We give them books, bears, and toys. So we are in need of books and bears.
How do we get those books and bears to you? Because I got a whole box of books that
Oh,
I
great.
kind of
Thank
the books
you.
around, I kind of switched the books around in daycare center. So I just took some out and replaced them with some more. So tell me how to get those books to you.
Okay. One, you can just text me or call me and I can come pick them up.
Okay,
All
great.
right,
All
all right.
right.
So
Yes,
y'all
I
see,
do.
this lady is on top of everything that she's doing. So whatever that you want to donate, books, as she said, is the most books, bears, and toys. So just call and she'll come pick it up. That you can't
Hmm.
ask for nothing better. You can't ask for nothing better. So I will appreciate any assistance. I don't have. Okay, wait. I might have some little bears. I might have some bears. Yeah. So um,
Okay.
definitely will have some ready for you by next week, so you can come and pick
Okay.
those. But
Sounds
we can
good.
peek. I don't want
Yeah.
you just per se. What's you're on the north side? Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. North side,
Yeah.
northeast.
Yeah. So we can meet up somewhere, so you don't have to come as far. But
Okay.
if you have anything that you would like to donate to this organization, I would love for you all to either reach her. Her number again is
832.
656-8661. Dr. Brenda Simmons. Or if you have my number and you want to call me, let's see, 832-728-3124. And I can meet you to help distribute those to Dr. Brenda.
Now, I want to address this to all the parents out there. You know, your kids have toys that they've outgrown.
Right.
They have books that they've outgrown. You know, they've gotten too big for the stuffed animals. Go in your child's room.
Yes.
And go in there with your child and bring all that stuff out of there. What are you holding on to it for when there's a child that can need it? So go in your closet, go in your kids' toy box. All those, but your child 13 and you still got baby toys. Come on now. Bring all that stuff on out of there. So, because there's some children who need it. So
but
get them to Ms. Brenda.
To piggyback on what Sharilyn is saying, if you tell your child that there's another child out there that needs whatever it is that they're not playing with, they'll be so happy to give it away. I would have been, because that meant I'm gonna get a new toy. But if you would, that's teaching our kids in advance on how to work together in the community. There's no need of me holding on a pair of shoes when I can give the shoes away. I haven't worn them in a year. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, whatever it is that you have, I've given you my number, 832-728-3124. Call me. I will come and meet you and pick that up so that I can meet with Dr. Brenda and give those items to her. We have to learn now how to work with each other, for each other at all given times. It may not be you today, but we don't know what holds for tomorrow. So
not only for just toys. Bring us clothes too.
Yes.
Those clothes and those shoes.
Yes, we do need clothing for women.
Clothing for women?
Women and men starting work from homeless. They're transitioning from homelessness into the work atmosphere, so they need clothing.
Oh, okay. I can help you out with that clothes.
She didn't go with that clothes. I can do that. And Sharilyn not the only one who need to go in her closet and get some of those things out that she hasn't worn with the tag on it from 6 years ago and bring it to me so I can give it to Dr. Brenda. I have some old friends out there. I know I do. So, ladies, hit me up.
Bring those children's clothes out.
Yes.
So, the child is outgrown and they still look practically brand new.
Yes.
And I'm going to solicit from my parents because I have a daycare center. I'm going to tell my parents all those clothes and all those toys that you have for your kids that they can't wear and not use them. Bring them to my house and Dr. Brenda, I will get them to you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'm going to start with my daughter to bring some of that stuff out of her house before her husband throws it away.
You welcome, Brenda. You don't owe us.
We're more than happy to help you.
And we owe you.
Is there anything else that we can assist in? Because I want to come to your event. I want to support you in any way I can support you because I have a love for children. I can't do what
Thank you so much.
The things that I can do, I want to do.
Absolutely.
I can do what you do, girl.
Thank you.
And I know I won't be in town that weekend. I've already got a date. And thanks for the invite. But if I know somebody on the screen right here is going to be there, I could send some stuff over so she could be a vendor for me. Okay. And what's your vendor fee, Brenda?
The vendor fee is $50, which is all going to the home that we're saving up to refurbish.
$50, Brenda. Yeah. No, I'm saying $50 is not enough, Brenda. And I know you ain't trying to tell you how to run things, but for all my friends, if you all become a vendor, please at least pay $75. At least, please. So, and anybody else, please pay $75. You pay $200 vending fees all over this place. So
really,
yeah, girl, All right, that's another show.
So
yeah.
So then it's going to be a vendor. Although she's going to be out of town, I'm gonna stand in for her because that's how we do. But she won't come over my house and keep the children. But
Anyway, so listen, Dr. Brenda, it's a pleasure,
really?
and we're so honored that you took out your busy schedule to be a part of us. So once again, we want everyone to. Everything is down on the bottom of the stream. How to reach Sugar Baby. There's a phone number. Everything is Sugar Baby, so y'all can't miss it. That's with two E's. BABEE. So Sugar, y'all reach out to her, please, and give her all the support that she needs, and she needs a lot of support.
And I'm going to be calling you, soliciting those donations.
Thank you so much.
Yo, just so welcome,
time
so
is
welcome.
Gone so fast to say the clock is time for us to
Well, say goodbye.
Until next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Dr. Brenda, hold on just a second.
So
okay,
yeah. So everybody else, we thank you again for dropping in to see Sharilyn and I, but most of all for visiting and learning more about Dr. Brenda Simmons. So we look forward to seeing you all next week, 7 p.m., same time, same place, same two people, Sharilyn and Linda. All right, so we'll see you all again next week. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.